Hi and welcome back to the fifth video of dwpcorruption.co.uk, and we're continuing now with Sherry, who's been talking about the CSA and the huge corruption scam that we've caught them out on once again. And I believe she wants to start by showing you a newspaper cutting with James Purnell of all people. What's this all about, Sherry?
All right, Martin. Right, basically what this is, it's an article in the Manchester Evening News, which was actually put out on Monday, January the 26th. And that's the article in question, with the man in question there, which I'm sure a lot of non-resident fathers and parents will realise who he is. Right, now basically what this is, it's discussing the Child Maintenance and Enforcement Commission, which is slowly being phased in. It started being phased in, we believe, from October, November of last year. So all new cases at the moment will be on the CMEC. Now they say it's going to be fully operational by 2014. So everyone who's on CSC, which is CSA 1, CSA 2 at present, they hope that everyone's going to be on the CMEC by 2014. Now, it's been in the news because they are supposed to be cracking down on fathers who have never paid and fathers who refuse to pay. And I'll make that point because it's quite important. And he's reported as saying, "We will not stand by and do nothing." Now, after reading the article, what they are proposing to do, again I'll stress, by fathers who haven't paid and fathers who refuse to pay, is in-house, which means they don't have to go to court. They want to take away, well, rather revoke the passport and the driving licences. Now, this was sort of very interesting to us, because the first thing is, they want to do it in-house. They don't want to take it to court to do it that way. So that's against the civil liberties for a start, and against the human rights. Now, it was interesting for us, quite basically, because we've also discovered that if this were to happen, you only have 7 days to appeal what they've done. Now, I sat down one evening and I thought 7 days. Mine started ticking over.
Just 7 days. That's not
7 days.
That's not 7 working days.
We've got no idea at this point. So if we say 7 days from you receiving the letter or the court case, or the action being taken, if they, for instance, do the action, say, I don't know, devil's advocate on a Friday, you've then got a Saturday and a Sunday. You may get the notice through by the Monday or the Tuesday. So your time's ticking away. Your days are ebbing away.
So it leaves you 3 days.
So it leaves you approximately, say, devil's advocate again, 3 to 4 days. Now, in that 3 to 4 days, you have to appeal. But what you have to do is show just cause as to why you don't want your passport or your driving licence being revoked. It could be that you work abroad a lot with a job, so therefore you need your passport for your livelihood. Driving licence could be that you're a wagon driver, a taxi driver, again, it's for your livelihood. So you can't have this action taken against you. What you then have to do is go down to your local court. You have to go in, you have to show the letters of what's happened and say, right, I wish to appeal this decision, but I have to appeal it in a court of law, by the way. You can't just write off to the CMEC and say, I want to appeal your decision. It has to be done by the court. That's the interesting part. They don't have to do it by the court, but your appeal has to go by the court.
So you've got paperwork to fill in, etc.
Yes. Now, you're also going to have a cost involved with that. Now, at the moment, appealing just a liability order that still goes on in the court system is approximately £80.
Well, what the bloody hell do you do if you haven't got the money?
Exactly, this is it. So, if it costs, I don't know, anything upwards from, we say, £80, you've got to have that money to hand over at the time you fill your paperwork in to ask for the appeal. So to us, again, it's a tactic to stop the non-resident parents from appealing.
Is there nothing that these cretins won't do to stop making money out of the public?
Doubt it very much.
You know what I mean?
But the other interesting fact that I was leading to as well, Martin, is something else that we've discovered, and we have evidence. We have evidence from a member who's contacted us. Now, we have asked for a meeting with this person. We've asked to speak to this person, James Purnell, and so far we keep getting refused. Now, the reason we want a meeting with him is the evidence that's come to light is he's bleating on, and so was the Undersecretary and all the other ministers to do with the CSA/CMEC and DWP. They keep bleating on, it is going to be used as a last resort. Now, we don't want to scaremonger and we don't want to frighten non-resident parents, but it is your right to know. The evidence that we have had given to us is it's not going to be as a last resort. It's not going to be fathers who have never paid and who refuse to pay. Because we've got a member who's contacted us who has been paying from the first time he was assessed. He has arrears, which we've discovered after going through his case. It's not his fault, it's down to CSA again, maladministration. Yeah. So we have to fight that for him. But not only that, we are in possession of a letter from his CSA office and in bold writing right across the middle before the ending of the letter. It actually states in bold writing, failure to pay your maintenance arrears will result in one of the following. And it seems funny to us, Martin, it actually states you will have your driving license revoked, your passport revoked, or committed to prison. So, Mr. Pennell, this is supposed to be as a last resort for fathers who have never paid and won't pay. So why are CSA staff members threatening fathers now who aren't even on the new CMEX thing? They're on CSA too.
This is just totally unacceptable, you know. And I mean, we spoke earlier on about the corruption and the collusion. You know, we're gonna be able to do alphabetical search on this soon. Corruption, collusion. What else do they get up to?
Exactly.
But what comes after corruption and collusion is deception.
Exactly.
We spoke about deception. What's this business about the cheque being cashed?
Right. Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that. This is an ongoing case that we have against one of our members. Now, this has been ongoing since September of last year. He contacted us after being had a letter. He was being summoned to court for a liability order, again, for supposed alleged arrears. We looked into it, and the arrears, again, are due to the CSA maladministration. So, putting a long story short, went to court. Myself and Maurice, my partner, went to court with him as Mackenzie friends. Went in, CSA, court presenting officer, solicitor, provided no evidence, and the gentleman in question had his evidence. Magistrate said, we have to grant the liability order. However, we stood up and said, could you give us leave for an appeal? Yes, we will. Get your evidence together, we grant you leave for an appeal. So we said, right, so we came out all in agreement, bearing in mind the court presenting officer for the CSA and the solicitor heard all of this. We were all in the corridor outside, all standing together with the gentleman in question as well. And she said, right, you know what you have to do, send the letter of appeal in, send the letter of appeal into the court, and we'll take it from there. And they walked away. Now, this was done. He sent in his fee to the appeal to the court, and a letter as well. He also sent a letter of appeal into the CSA, which is the correct process to do. Now, the cheque was cashed in mid-October. And the weeks were going by and he'd heard nothing about a new court date. So we contacted him, have you heard anything? No. Rang the court, I'm not sure what's going on, leave it with us, we'll get back to you. 2 more weeks went by, still nothing. We contacted the court, we got his authority by way of a letter to act on his behalf for the data protection and all that. And no, don't know what's going on. So we dug a bit deeper and we said, this isn't right. Anyway, 7th of November, 6th in my memory, he came around to see us. I had this letter this morning, handed us this letter from the court. Thank you for your letter dated the 6th of November, which we received, and your cheque. Unfortunately, you cannot appeal against the liability order. Now, there was no cheque enclosed in that letter that they'd returned to him. And he said, the funny thing is, my bank statement reads that the cheque's been cashed.
Well, that's deception.
Exactly. We then dug a bit deeper again and contacted the courts again and discovered...
Sherry, we're going to have to stop the video because we're coming to the end of the 10 minutes. Keep your eyes peeled.